Welcome back to Insurasales Live. We're in Dallas. We've just wrapped up the 8% conference. Another special guest. We got Nate Auffort. This is a guy I got to know over this past year. Was able to be at your event, the SWAT event, which I have to say is, if you haven't been, you need to go, because this is a transformational event. Nate wears his heart on his sleeve. He takes you through everything that you need to go through, and you leave with a blueprint for your life. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit more, but Nate, honored to know you, and thanks for coming on Insurasales Live, man.
That's an awesome conference, huh?
Yeah, man. So you got on stage today, man. I don't think I've seen anybody here bring the energy you do, or the sweat. How many gallons of water did you bring?
I probably lost about fuck. How'd you lose all your weight? How you lose 40 pounds? I've been on a couple stages in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, sweats. It's water weight, right?
Yeah, man. Like, no, your speech today was inspirational, man. You're good at telling your story. You're good at telling your story. Do you want to tell a little bit about that, or do you want to talk about how you can tell a story?
No,
because the people are watching.
I guess if you teach what you do, you don't need notes.
Yeah.
If you speak from your heart, you don't need a speech, basically.
Right.
So like most of the time, even when you go to the SWAT event, it's like, if I do a Zoom meeting, or I'm doing a SWAT event, or I'm doing a speech, or I'm not a keynote speaker. I'll tell you right now. I'm not going to wow you and motivate you and have all these special slides and do a keynote. It's just I like to just kind of feel the moment, like we did through the last couple of days, and see how did that affect me, and how are some of these things that we were taught can help me now, but how some of the things that were taught by all these incredible speakers, how did they help me get past those hard times? Because everyone's going to have hard times. Everyone's going to have difficulties. Everyone's going to have obstacles. Everyone, like they said, has their story. E.T. talked about, play your hand. The other girl, Emily, talked about the stronghold, right? And so when I was talking today, I was just thinking about analogies about, what is a stronghold in life? It's something that's holding you down. The elephant with the tent and stake. It's like that's holding people back. Like, what if it doesn't work? And what if it doesn't do this? And it's just so, I got people thinking stories. We talk about that in SWAT. People, you get sit down with your mom, read your bedtime facts. Hey, 1492. And so, just
bedtime facts.
Right.
I love it.
And so, even with my analogy today about the elephant in the circus and being tied to a stake, but if I say the word elephant, what do you picture? You don't picture the word elephant.
You picture a big elephant.
And everyone has a different picture. Some picture an elephant at the circus, some picture an elephant in the safari. Right. Some people picture an elephant in a coloring book.
But not the word, E-L-E, you don't see
you don't see the word.
You
so when,
the picture, right.
I was taught early on by my mentor that people think in stories, and you have to communicate in stories.
Yeah.
And if you effectively communicate in stories, you're talking to the brain that people can understand.
So you got on 8% conference, and a lot of people are afraid to talk in front of 2 or 3 people. There's 800 people here. You got on today. I got on yesterday. I talked about a very hard thing about my father who just passed and all this stuff. And I had this eloquent, beautiful thing that I wanted to say, and I sat there and I sweated over exactly how I was going to say it. And I ended up, all the preparation I had to do and all that, I ended up realizing when I was on stage that I had a 1-hour speech and I had 25 minutes to give it. And I felt like I fumbled around and all that, and I finally just said, you know what, speak from the heart.
There you go.
And then it all flowed. And when you got on the stage today, you came in and you said, I didn't prepare my speech on purpose.
Right.
Because I'm going to talk about what I know and I'm going to talk about what I do. And you killed it, man. You killed it. The whole room was just like, yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, you could feel your passion, your energy, because that's you, right?
Yeah.
That's you.
I think anytime I hear a speaker does the greatest part. I'm not saying you can't prepare or have an idea what you're talking about. Like today, sometimes I have an idea what I'm talking about. Like today, I didn't. I'm just go up there and talk from the heart. But like so many people, not at this conference, thank God, but I was at a conference one time and the guy's like, the 5 things I do every day. I do these 5 things every day. Number 1 is... If you do it every day, how did you write down your notes? So maybe he was scared or nervous and stuff, but kind of like, did you read that in a book somewhere? Did you hear it on a podcast somewhere? You watch an Andrew Tate video and he said it and you thought that was really good? I'll say I do that every day. And I'm not technically making fun of those people, but when
it's hard to speak on stage.
Yeah, it is hard to speak on stage, right? But when you can speak from the heart, you can't really mess up.
Right.
I mean, look at Ludwig today.
Yeah.
He called me a week ago. He's like, I am petrified to be on stage. I don't know what to do. I'm scared to death. I feel like I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to forget everything else. I'm just like, dude, just talk from the heart. And he nailed it today.
He came up. And
I didn't tell him to cry 7 times. But
he just started bawling. He started crying for y'all who were seeing this online. Like, he started crying. I mean, a big, massive guy, man. Tattoos everywhere. Like, I wouldn't want to get in a fight with this guy.
No, big, massive.
On the stage. And the crowd pulled for him. They said, I love you because you're being genuine.
He's
you're
being
authentic.
vulnerable. He's being genuine. I mean, the guy just bought he bought a $6.8 million plane cash like 2 days ago.
Right.
And he's up there being vulnerable. He's talking about his life and his addiction and his story. And he's terrified of being there. And it was probably one of the best speeches.
Right.
And there's some people up there, they were polished and they were write down their little notes and their PowerPoints. It's kind of like.
And everyone's taking pictures of the 3 points that they have on the slide, and that's cool.
It's cool. It's effective.
But the people who are inspiring, the people who are really inspired are the people who are most authentically themselves, I believe.
I've always been moved by people that are authentically themselves and they talk from the heart.
Right. And there's some people who aren't very charismatic. I've seen people that are not very charismatic. They don't have all the gifts, but they get in there, and when they get into their gifts, they could be an accountant or, these kind of people, but when they really get into the meat of it, that's where they shine. But when they try to be something that they're not,
100%.
That's it. And
so I would encourage anybody that wants to go speak, just be you.
Yeah.
Because you're going, if you felt the way you felt and you've accomplished the things you've accomplished and you've had obstacles and overcame them, there's people, not everyone's going to like you. I can guarantee not everyone will like me. Sometimes I talk too fast, or you're too emotional, or some guy didn't like the person that was crying on stage. Another person loved the crying on stage. Another person loved the 16 PowerPoint digits for 2 sentences. Right. So we talk about that at SWAT. Everyone's personalities are different. So what these conferences do, it's like they allow all these people to speak into those people that need to be spoken into in the way they need to be spoken into.
Right. And not everyone will love you, but if you're authentically yourself, everyone will respect you.
Yeah.
I think that's what I really get. There's some people like I wouldn't do business with who go and I see them on stage and I wouldn't do business with them. They're not my type of person. I'm like, that's cool. I respect what they're doing, who they are, and that's what it is. It's the people who are fake that turn me off. And I think that's the way the whole room is. If you're trying to be something you're not, then I think that turns people off.
I think either they disregard the message, which is sad because every message is good no matter how the delivery is, or else they wouldn't be up there.
Right.
Right. I'm not talking. I'm talking about other events and other things and speakers out here. I mean, I can't find a speaker. I can't find a speaker that I didn't like here.
No,
it wasn't one that I didn't take information from, the one I didn't like, or wasn't one I didn't learn something from. And it amazes me because it's like, I'll do my SWAT event and people are like, oh yeah, I already know that stuff. I'm like, well, first of all, I've never been to one. Or it's been to one, how many times you go to math class?
No.
And can you teach it? And can you duplicate it? And can you live it?
Yeah.
It's one thing to watch a movie once, but okay, great. Imagine what was your favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Okay, who's your favorite actor? And who's the favorite actor?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. You watch it 3 times. Could you get close to doing effectively what Tom Cruise does in the movie? Yes or no?
No way.
But then people want to become professionals in this business or any sales business or insurance or anything else, and they heard something once, they read a book once, they see him deliver it once, but they can't be as effective as Tom Cruise doing the movie. And so, like when I've been studying personal growth, coming to events like this, for 20 plus years. Since I've been 21 years old, I'm almost 50. Almost 30. Oh, shoot. Almost 30 years. I keep saying 20. I'm getting old. And I'm still sitting in the front row. If you watch me sit, my back never touches a chair. I'm engaged. I'm giving energy to the speaker. And I come to events like this and I see people in the hallway. So this is important. I see them in the hallway having conversations on their phones, answering email. Like, why would you buy a plane ticket, pay for a ticket here at the conference, $300 to $3,000, buy a hotel room, $200 a night,
go out drinking all night the night before
and then miss the event,
be hanging out
or be outside talking, or leave early.
Right.
But same reason why my wife goes to the gym every day, and on January 1st she complains and moans about how crowded it is, and oh my God, all these people. And then in about March, 3rd day into the convention, right? 3rd month into the year, about March, it's back to normal. The same dedicated, committed people who have the stick-to-itiveness is a word, have the grit and have the grind, are there because they want the result.
So, to illustrate your point, I went to the breakout session after my breakout session this morning. I went to Edward Pritchett's. And I've never heard, how massively successful Edward is. Yeah. So I went to his, and I sat there and I watched him. He's not the most charismatic person in the world, but he's very genuine. When he tells you something, you believe it, and you know he's coming from a good place. And he gave the most simple talk about how you set up a business, how you set up your bank accounts, how you manage your money, how you manage your time, how you do all this stuff. I said, that is the best I've ever heard.
Wow.
It's exactly what you do. It's exactly what you should do. I wish I could say it that well, but there was nothing really profound. There's a few good tips in it.
Wish it was recorded.
But this is him. You can tell this is what he talks about, and he's been talking about it for 20 years to be able to talk about it, or 10 years to say it that well, right? And this is what you're talking about. Everyone's looking for the new thing or the big thing. Ingrain the things that the very successful do, go 1 inch wide and a mile deep. And your SWAT conference, I got to speak there, and I was, thank you for allowing me to at least be a part of the event. That was way better than speaking. But your SWAT conference took us in the depth, your color thing and all that. You told me you can't figure that out, the personality types and all that, unless you sit through it.
Yeah, it's an immersive experience.
I go back and I was like, oh, he's a green, he's red, yeah. And like, it was so in, and everyone there knew it because we were immersed in it. You put your heart and soul in that. Yeah. And if I can say anything, this guy, if you want to know him, go spend 3 days with him. You'll see he's put his life's work and he displays it for you, and he pours into you for 3 days at the SWAT conference. I have no affiliation to sell his conference, all that stuff. I love the guy, and he made a difference in my life when I went because of the hard work he's come. And I see your heart. I see who you are and what you're doing in the industry, man. And I just wish you all kinds of continued success. Any other tips for the people out there, man?
The color sounds weird when you say color. We talk about colors, right?
Yeah,
but the personality. How do I put this, right? Myers-Briggs is awesome. The DISC, the driver, all these things are great, and it's algebra to calculus, and we break it down to 1 + 1 is 11. 1 + 1 is 2, right?
All right.
And it's a way that I was taught by my mentor of how to be able to identify someone within less than a minute or less, 30 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds, to deliver information to them in the way that they want to receive it, so they don't confuse the message with the messenger. Because not everyone gets involved in this business because of money, even though there's only a small section of it. Not everyone gets involved in this business because they want to help people. Some people just want to make the money, and then helping people is a byproduct. Some people want to help people, and money's back here. Some people want to have a good time. They like to go to conferences and conventions. They want to be around people, do networking events. Other people say, hey, here's a systematic plan. Insurance has been around for hundreds of years. People are making millions of dollars and making more. I want to have a detailed plan of action. And
but
here's
if I go to everyone because I'm money motivated and I talk to them about money, I eliminate 70% of the people out there, right?
So we were downstairs, and I'll finish this, but we were downstairs. My phone is blowing up. And there's 3 people, and they came up to me. They were so kind and gracious. Said, "Man, you did such a wonderful job. Your speech touched my heart." And they're just giving me some, incredible compliments about it. And I said, "Well, you should come to SWAT." And they go, "What's SWAT?" Right? And I tried to explain. I started explaining to them and stuff. I said, one of the biggest things you'll leave there with is having an understanding, not just in the insurance industry, but with your husband and your wife and your kid. I've been told that the things that I was taught by my mentor that I've taught saved people's marriages. Someone came to me and said, I would not still be married today if I didn't go to your event.
Yeah.
I mean, that's powerful. That's a powerful responsibility. And so I'm down there, and I asked the lady's name. There's 2 people and a lady in front. I asked her name, shook her hand, asked her name, and I spent the next 3 minutes telling her all about herself.
Yeah.
And she went,
how do you know?
She's like, I've known you for 30 seconds. She shook my hand, and you know my name. And you just basically outlined why I'm in the business, what motivates me in the business, whether or not I do want to make money, but I'm not going to step along people on the way up. Yeah. And if I had a chance for promotion, but it was going to cost this ability for this person to ever get a promotion, I'd actually sit on the sideline to help make sure we get it together. And I'm going on and on about her personality type.
Right.
And her eyes is getting big and big and big and big.
How do you know that?
Yeah, and it's not magic. It's just that it's simpler than we know. And be like, oh, can I watch it on Zoom? No. Can you give me a book to read? No. It's an immersive experience where you're in that for 2 hours.
And it took a day. Yeah. It took a day for that to sink in and a reinforcement the next day.
Yep.
But by the end of that second day, it was like I was speaking that language. I was identifying the people. And you're right. When I went home, I identified my wife a little bit differently, and I realized some of the things that we were not connecting on. It did matter.
But now every time you shake someone's hand, every time you see somebody, it's like you immediately go, hey, you know what? Yeah. I have an idea of how to deliver information to this person.
And what I got out of that, probably because I'm a yellow, is that is a love. That is love. You're teaching people how to love someone. So how can I identify someone, how they are, what they want, and speak to them how they want to receive information? To me, that's loving them as they are instead of trying to make them want information the way I want to give it to them.
Right. And here's the thing, and we will end with this. We don't go forever.
Yeah.
Money
We're
only,
gonna do a long one. We're gonna do a long one some other time. But
money only comes from one place, and that's from other people.
yeah.
So if you're going to learn to speak a language, wouldn't you want to speak the language of people? Because the only way I can get money is from another person. I have to communicate to that person and give them a product or a service in return for that, and they have to like and trust me and be able to understand what I'm talking about. And if I'm exchange money from that person and I need to speak their language, wouldn't it be a good idea to learn the language of people? And you can do it in 3 days. 3 days, 2.5 day seminar. You can do it actually in 4 hours of the segment, but within 3 days, your subconscious mind leaves, and you now understand the language of people. And it's life changing.
And that's scratching the surface on what you do at SWAT. Look, Nate, thanks for coming by, man. It's an honor to know you. I hope we can do more together. How do people reach you?
Let's see, 911. No. I don't know, give my phone number out or no? They can just go to my Instagram or Nate Auffort. I guess I don't even do social media.
Nate Auffort on social media. SWAT training.
SWAT_training, I think, on Instagram, or Nate Auffort on both Facebook and
we'll put
Instagram.
Some link,
or they can just go to swattraining.info/events. SWATtraining.info/events, and they can see our upcoming event that's happening, the next event that's happening. So
we'll put that on the lower third and in the description. And thanks again, brother. It's an honor to know you, man.
Appreciate you.